He wa ta tarongoia, he one ponura, ko te ao I tu honua, ko tahi tana.
Morning everyone, introduce you to John Hart, who's been appointed family spokesperson. We have Mervyn Kirk and Jonah Lomu here with Jonah's sister, and in behind we've got Michael Jones and Dylan Mika in support. I'll hand over to John Hart, who...
Thank you for coming here today, and may I thank you for the way you have handled this very difficult and tragic situation that we're all involved in. Jonah's fam, Nadine, and her children, Brayley and Drael, have asked me to be their family spokesman, and I'm speaking on behalf of Hepi and the late Samisi Lomu and Merv and Lois Quirk, Nadine's parents. Obviously this is a incredibly sad time for all of us, and I think firstly that Nadine has asked that I pass on to everyone their sincere thanks from the family for the wonderful tributes that have been paid, the support that they've had from around the world and here in New Zealand, the outpouring of love towards a loving husband, a loving son-in-law, and a very, very special dad to his two beautiful young boys. Obviously this is a very difficult time for the family and a very difficult time for everyone associated. But we do appreciate the tremendous support that we've had publicly. Nadine obviously is struggling to come to grips with the loss of her husband so tragically and so suddenly. And of course, as is Hepi and Merv and Lois and their families, it's a very difficult time. We have had messages from all around the world, and I know that you will be following social media and you will have seen the response from people, all sorts of people, from all dimensions of this world, who are mourning the loss of a very special person, a special rugby player and a special person. Today the Prime Minister has sent a message to Nadine from the Queen, who has written to the Prime Minister specifically asking a message to be sent to Nadine and their families to say how much she mourns their loss as well. So this is something that has obviously happened so suddenly and has obviously caught us all a little short, and I'm privileged to be asked by the family to help them through this process as their spokesperson. We recognise from the tremendous outpouring of love that there is a need to think long and hard about the most appropriate way that we can recognise Jonah's life. And we are in discussions as we speak today and over the next couple of days with government, with local government, with the New Zealand Rugby Union, with Jonah's church and obviously family, about what is the most appropriate way to remember Jonah. And I'm delighted with the tremendous support we're getting from government and local government who want to help and celebrate Jonah's life. So we have agreed that there will be a public memorial service for Jonah, and that will be followed by a private family church funeral service and burial. We have a lot of work to do. I hope you will understand and bear with us that there is a tremendous amount to do and a lot of logistics to cover, and we're only now in the process of starting that, and we hope within the next 48 hours, early next week, we will be able to give you a formal announcement of the location, timings of the public memorial service and also the church service, but no decisions have been finalised on that as yet, as there's a lot of discussions to be held. So I thank you and for the respect that you've shown to the family, and I would ask that privacy, the respect for their privacy continues. I'm delighted that Hepi and Merv have joined us here today. to show the love of the two families for a very special son and son-in-law. On a personal note, I was one of those very fortunate to have a lot of long relationship with Jonah, both as a coach and as a friend. He was a freak. He was the special rugby player that the world has ever seen. He did things that no other person has ever done. And when we recognise that he probably operated at a maximum of 80% efficiency at any time that he played the game, then what does it say about this person? He is a freak in the world. There has never be another Jonah Lomu. And we want to make sure that we respect and give him due respect in terms of celebrating his life. So I do thank you for joining with us. Thank you for your understanding, and we look forward to working with you to help celebrate a wonderful life. And I'm happy to take any questions.
You mentioned the public memorial service. I know you don't have the details necessarily. Is it likely to be a state funeral, or is it likely to just be some other?
It won't be a state funeral, because a state funeral is actually, I think, for a head of state. And but you know, the fact that government are wanting to support this funeral means that it will be a substantial event. And I think we want an event where people can come and be part of it. We want a service which is a celebration, but it actually gives the public the opportunity to come, because we know and we see the expressions of love that are out there, and we want to be able to have people share that. It won't be at home.
John, are you anticipating it's likely to be Eden Park?
Oh, Eden Park is certainly one of the venues that we are in discussions on, and we recognise that you know, this gathering could be one of the biggest we've had for any such occasion in New Zealand, and I think we recognise that, therefore we have to try to accommodate that. Oh, well, I've got a personal love, haven't I, for Eden Park, and it's a spiritual home of rugby. But, you know, I think we have to recognise that Jonah was a great rugby player, but he was a great ambassador for life and for what he did for children. And so we want to make sure that we, you know, take all those things in.
John, the Give a Little page.
Yeah. The Give a Little page has attracted some publicity, and I can tell you that Nadine has asked that page be taken down today. Can I give you a bit of context with that? We were getting a number of requests. The family were getting a number of requests, and people wanting to donate and wanting to help the kids. And at the time, it was probably thought that this was an appropriate way to handle it. I think in context of what we are going through, it's probably best that it's left at the moment. And so Nadine has asked today that that be taken down. But can I just say that it's in the context of Jonah's passion and vision for life, and with Nadine, was to create a long-lasting legacy to help children around the world, and that was where it was driven from. I think the message has got missed, and it's a difficult time, and I think it's appropriate that it be taken down, and we rethink that. But Jonah had a passion, and Nadine has told me about it again this morning, how they were talking only earlier this week about the whole future of what they're going to do was about creating a lasting legacy to help children around the world. So please understand that that was the context of it, and that is that page has now been taken down.
John?
Not at the moment, but that's obviously a consideration.
John, I know it's a little sensitive, but are there any more details about how Jonah finally did succumb?
Well, Jonah and the family returned from Dubai on Tuesday night, and Jonah was in great health. They'd had a great holiday, and Jonah had spent a magic time at the Rugby World Cup. So how good for him, and he'd be looking down now saying, well, I saw the best of, and so that was great. He arrived back home Tuesday, he was fine. He went to bed Tuesday night and he was fine. Unfortunately, he woke mid-morning and they found him dead. He clearly had cardiac arrest. And the cardiac arrest is clearly related to his liver condition.
John, there's been some speculation that the flight stressed the body. Is
Look, I think there'll be speculation on all sorts of things, and Jonah had a very carefully managed medical program, and I give credit to Nadine for that. I mean, as you know, he was on dialysis 5 days a week, so that has to be managed all around the world, and it was, and he was in great and that plan had been followed to the T. So I don't think there's nothing. It's just one of those things that probably the illness caught up, and cardiac arrest unfortunately took a great man from us.
John, how heartening is it for you to see some of the greatest athletes
Yeah, well, when you get... See, I've always said that the greatest player in the world was the guy standing behind me, and I've been biased, but I've always said that Michael Jones... Sorry, Dylan. Dylan was very good, but Michael Jones was the greatest player I ever saw. And I still think probably as an individual player he's something special. But Jonah's more than that. Jonah's a legend in what he did and what he created. And look, the All Blacks that have been in touch, the feeling, the rugby union, the support we've had from Steve Tew and the New Zealand Rugby Union is tremendous. Yesterday was quite a day. It was the signing off of a great career from Richie McCaw, and it was also the signing off of a great life, and it was some irony to me that those two, and it was beautiful what happened together. The union did talk to us about timing of that, and the family agreed that it should proceed, and they did it with their love and support.
John, can you tell us how Nadine and the boys are doing?
Well, as you would expect, Nadine is struggling, and is struggling big time. But and the boys, they're coping okay. But they're young, they're 6 and 5, and so it's a difficult time. They've got their dad with them now, back in the house, and that's special.
Is it likely that Jonah will stay there until the funerals?
I think it's almost certain he will stay there until the funeral.
John, what's the arrangements being made with the
Yeah, I think obviously there are clear cultural wishes that we want to follow, and the family are in discussions and will be in discussions with the various communities, Tongan community and Samoan community, about how it's appropriate to do that, and so that's well in their thinking.
John, will it be a Mormon service? Is it a farewell service?
It will almost certainly be a Mormon service,
Yes,
a farewell service, but the memorial service will be a celebration. The church service will be a church service. I think we want to make the public service a celebration, and that's very much where the family are, that we can bring together this icon and celebrate with them. No, I hope I'm not asked to sing.
And John, given you said that the private ceremony or private funeral would be after the public ceremony, is it likely that that could happen on the same day, do you think?
No, it's probably the next day. We're looking at 2 days, I think. We hope we'll have dates confirmed by Monday. I'm hoping we'll get it by Monday, but as I say, we've got meetings this afternoon and over the weekend, and we're hoping we can get something together. I think, as you'd understand it, we would rather announce something which is actual rather than speculation. There's a lot of speculation going on, but rest assured no decisions have been made, but in principle we've agreed on the structure of the 2 days. Look, Wesley College, I think they'll all be, they're mourning too. I mean, it's lovely to see that song that they sang at the assembly yesterday.
John, you mentioned that you were in discussion with both the council and the government. What sort of details are you talking through with them?
Well, everything really. We need help. This is not something that we in the family can organise. This is far bigger. So we've asked them to take over and help us create it, because they've agreed they want to do that.
Have you got a sense of the number of people that might turn out to Jonah?
No, but I have a feeling it'll be very large.
John, if you just cast your memory back, and are there any moments that happened between you and Jonah where no one else was in the room, or that you haven't told anyone about yet?
Look, I'll reflect on those, and there are a lot of times that I've had, and we had a different and special relationship, and I saw him through his worst times as with his illness, and didn't know as a coach that he was going through it, and I'm sure I'll be able to reflect on those later. Thank you very much for coming. I really appreciate your support of the family.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, there is one thing I forgot. Today is this beautiful lady's birthday. So, a very, very special lady.